All right. Cool. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Blair Schlechter, Vice President of Economic Development and Government Affairs for the Chamber, here with Deborah Deras. We're looking forward to having a great webinar, and we'll have time for questions. I would encourage anyone who has questions to submit them via the chat box that you can see if you tap the bottom of your screen, type chat, and then we will get to those at the end. So a little about Deborah. She is one of the top speakers and influencers in North America and a highly entertaining speaker, if I may say so myself.
Entertain
She's
you.
spoken she's spoken for a number of impressive companies such as NBC, General Electric, JP Morgan, British Petroleum, Procter & Gamble, etc. And she's also done a lot of work for small businesses. She serves as an advisor through the Small Business Development Center, through whom we have a partnership with. Just so you all know, if you're a Beverly Hills business, we have opportunities for complimentary one-on-one sessions for your business. And these webinars we're hosting about once a week now because of obviously what's going on. They're really complimentary for the entire community. So it's really a great service, and Deborah and her team have done such a great job. And she's spoken widely on social media topics, about technology topics, and is really a great asset. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Deborah.
Okay, thank you so much, Blair. And I love the Beverly Hills Chamber of Commerce. I say it's the best in the West, and I have so many great resources from the Chamber. So I'm happy to be able to serve. And this webinar was co-created by myself and Blair and Nick and Todd, having a conversation basically on how can everyone in this day and age and what we're dealing with being having to stay at home, with a lot of retail businesses being closed. How do we communicate best with our clients? How do we nurture our current social media? And how do we engage potential new clients and customers? What platforms, what protocols can we use? So I'm going to go over a series of what to use, when to use, and how to use it so that you're going to be able to not waste your time and be very, very efficient and productive during this time. So for those of you, I think you already gave me a great introduction, but for those of you that don't know me, I'm an international speaker. They call me the social media goddess, SMG for short. I've been a business owner for 20 years. So when I talk to you about these tools, these are tools that I personally use to help me with my business and that I've been coaching clients to use. And the intention is that it'll save you time so that you're not wasting time during this precious moments that we have to maybe develop some content we've always wanted to develop, or write that newsletter we've always wanted to do, or do that YouTube or the blog or the podcast. I'm going to give you the tools to be able to do that. So the objectives, and I know it's a lot of objectives for an hour, but we're going to tackle them one by one. First is when to use Zoom. And I was coaching someone yesterday and she says, I've been on a million Zoom calls, but I don't know how to initiate one. I think all of us as business owners, whether you're a restaurant or you're a consultant or you're a trainer, we can be using Zoom in so many ways. So what I'm going to share with you is how you are going to be able to have your own Zoom meeting, how you're going to be able to use it for a virtual cafe or a Wednesday wine session. Okay, so you're going to leave here knowing how to do that. I'm also going to talk about the do's and don'ts of Facebook and Instagram live streaming. You may have noticed there's a lot more live streaming going on than ever before, and there's a reason for that. And I'm going to show you how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, but also give you some success stories of some small businesses that are using it the right way so you can model these best practices. I'm also going to share with you a trick so you're going to be able to simultaneously live stream both on Facebook and Instagram, or on YouTube and Facebook. So that's cool, because then you could really be efficient, because I know a lot of you are like, I just don't have the time to do Instagram, or I don't have the time to do Facebook. Well, being able to simultaneously live stream is going to enable you to do that. And you're going to be able to do that in any location. So if your team is spread out, you're going to be able to all come together. I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about blogs, a little bit about your newsletter, because messaging is so important right now. We need to really be sensitive and aware of what our ideal target market is going through. What are their pains? What are their problems? What are their issues? So that we make sure that we address it and come across as empathetic, come across as compassionate, because this is how we are going to build such amazing brand loyalty. I have such great case studies I'm going to share with you of brands that are doing it right, and you can easily model their success. Plus, I'm going to show you some other resources to be able to use text marketing, to be able to gather testimonials during this time, and mucho más. Okay, so let's start out with Zoom. Okay, and I will tell you, I'm not the goddess of Zoom. I'm not the super expert. There's so many things on Zoom that I haven't done yet, but I do know that Zoom is the new Skype. I remember when I was first starting my podcast, they were like, "Do you want to Skype people in?" I'm like, "People don't Skype." If you don't already know, Skype was purchased by Microsoft. And it's not as user friendly, and it doesn't have as many functions, and it's not as reliable as Zoom. So that's why basically, as of 2019, last year, Skype was basically dead. And anytime anybody had a meeting, they said, let's Zoom, right? So Zoom is not a social media platform. It is a communication and video platform. If you want to do a meeting, if you want to host a webinar, if you want to collaborate with your team, there's so many things you could do. As you saw, we were chatting on Zoom. We were able to see each other face to face. And I have been wanting to have my coaching practice be virtual for the longest time. And last month, I just told everyone I'm only doing Zoom meetings, and it happened to be perfect timing because they were already used to doing Zoom. But the different things that you can use Zoom for in your business, of course, is meetings. And I'm going to show you how to set up a meeting. You can do webinars. So those of you that are on here that are consultants, or I like to call you infopreneurs, like I saw Anna's here, corporate speaker. I saw Mara Brown is here. So she does life coaching for dogs. Now is the time that we get out there and people really understand what problem we solve. We make them aware of our business, and webinars are awesome. Why? Because like for right now, I'm recording this webinar. I can make this an on-demand webinar, right? So people can continue to register for it, and then they sign up for my email newsletter, right? If this was mine, this is Beverly Hills, but if it was mine, they sign up, and then they can keep getting it. So I'm marketing myself even when I'm going for a walk, even when I'm going for the grocery store, because that webinar is still being marketed on demand. People can watch it anytime. Zoom actually acts as a marketing tool for us. And any platform that we have that can be marketing us when we're doing something else, we like that. And Zoom is excellent for that. You could also do online trainings. Like I'm going to show you examples of a lot of fitness professionals that are doing Zoom for their capoeira studio, for drumming lessons, yoga, salsa, samba, etc. So online trainings are a great way to use Zoom. I actually have a paid online coaching program where I use Zoom for that. Also, you can, and I just learned this as a new feature, live stream using Zoom. Did you know that? You can live stream using Zoom. So Zoom has they've been, ever since this happened with the coronavirus, Zoom has been adding features like every week. So if you're not following them on Twitter or reading their blogs, subscribe to their newsletter because they're constantly adding features to help us. So now you are able to go on Zoom and stream to your YouTube, stream to your Facebook, stream to your Instagram, and do simultaneous video conferencing through Zoom. You don't have to buy another program. Pretty cool, right? Um, Also, another thing that you can do through Zoom, which I think is awesome, I saw the Beverly Hills Chamber, first one on the scene to do this, is like, and I think I'm going to sign up for it. It's like wine and chat. Like we used to love seeing Michelle and having, what's going on with the chamber kind of thing. we can still do that, and we can have interaction. Why? Because Zoom has breakout groups, right? You could get people in pairs and do exercises. If we wanted to have more of a networking thing, if this wasn't a webinar, I would have all of your videos up and we would be able to have a networking experience. So depending what you're using Zoom for is how you would use the various features. And what I recommend is that you practice using Zoom socially with friends. Like every Friday we have happy hour with my friends and we do like a little Zoom chat, and I'm able to practice and use some of the features that I was not familiar with. Like, oh, let me do a poll. You know, how many of you want to do karaoke? No, right? And so you can practice with your friends, and then when you feel comfortable, you can use it for your business. But there's so many things that you can do on Zoom. Another thing that you could do on Zoom, which those of you that are consultants or infopreneurs, you can do this right away. I have an online mastermind group, and we get together via Zoom. So before, I could only have clients locally. What this experience of global expansion is doing, that's how I like to call it, is it's shifting our mindset, because we have to be creative right now. The way we were working isn't going to work. So we have to be super creative. So now you may not be local, you could be global. Like I saw Naima's on here and she has her concierge service. You know, maybe she's going to help people organize, but instead of going to their house or doing errands for them, she's going to give classes online on how they can do that themselves. Okay, so now you have a weekend that's open. This is how you can organize your garage. And she does like a little tutorial on that. But that could be a coaching program. So the slippery slope with Zoom is first you start people with having like a meeting with you, right? So you get everybody on a weekly like networking thing where you coach them, you answer questions. Then you can invite them to a webinar, right? So they get to know more of how you're the expert. Then when they do that, you could get them into an online training. And I know this isn't going to work if you're a brick and mortar, right? You're going to have a different strategy. But I'm going to talk about Facebook and Instagram Live for the brick and mortar retail businesses. Zoom is really for those of you that are wanting to have meetings with your team, that are wanting to do webinars, or you're a consultant infopreneur and you're taking everything virtual. Next week, I wanted to let you know this is, I'm doing the other thing, podcasts. So I used to go to a studio. Those of you that have taken my podcasting course know this, and I would record in a studio. Well, even though they're telling me the podcast studio is clean, come on in, there's no way I'm getting my mouth close to a microphone with germs, okay? Heck no. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to use Zoom to do my podcast. I've got this great mic right here, and I'm going to get my guest on Zoom. Guess what? We are going to record 3 episodes this month, all via Zoom. You must know that the quality of the audio is only going to be good as the quality of the Wi-Fi. So you want to be researching the best Wi-Fi for your house or your office so that you can make sure your Zoom is strong if you're going to do something like a podcast, but you can definitely do that. Next week, I'm teaching on Thursday at 2 o'clock a free webinar on podcasting, and I'll let you know about that. Okay, so you guys want to set up a meeting? One of my clients yesterday was like, we need to know how to set up a meeting. So I'm not going to share this. I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to go to an actual Zoom room. Hold on. Let's see if I can get to a Zoom room. Oh, hold on. It's not letting me switch back. Okay, so I was going to actually show you my screen, but I don't want to ruin the PowerPoint. So this is literally how you would set it up. If you want to get a Zoom account, there is a free version, and it gives you up to 40 minutes of Zoom time for up to 100 people. So it's definitely, I recommend right now, don't sign up for anything that's an extra cost or an extra revenue until you're using the free version and seeing it as a revenue generating activity. That's my rule for myself. There's no signing up for things. In fact, I'm canceling things. I'm not signing up for anything else because there's so much uncertainty right now. So try the trial version, and then if you like it, you can go ahead and upgrade to the other version. I like the other version because I need to have webinars for what I do. I'm doing this as a meeting, but I could do it as a webinar and have my own branding. You could have like a waiting room. So before you get in, it could have information that I want to share with you. After you leave, it could have information about my next program. And so there's customization. So, but to start a meeting, you just click on meetings and see there's webinars if you want to do a webinar. And then you click, you know, whatever the topic is, the description, short and sweet. And then right here where you put the time, and this integrates with Google Calendar. It integrates with Outlook, right? If you're using that calendar. And the wonderful thing is if you're doing one-on-one sessions, you email it to that person and it puts it right on their calendar. Or say you have a staff meeting that's a recurring meeting and it's always going to be on Zoom. You just set it up as a recurring meeting and that's it. You want to make sure that when you're setting up your Zoom that you customize, like they give you the option, do you need to have a password? And you could say yes or no. You could also customize, you have a personal number for your Zoom room and you can make that public. I know some dance teachers that are like, here's my Zoom room, here's the time of my class, and here's the place to make a donation. So it just allows you to set things up literally at the drop of a button. And I'm telling you, they haven't done it yet, but they're going to be upgrading it. So on your phone, so say you're going for a walk and you get a text and you want to start a Zoom meeting, you could do it right on your Google Calendar and set it up. Zoom also has an app, so it's very easy to schedule a Zoom meeting, and then you could text it to your client or text it to your team, and boom, you're set up. It's just so easy. And what I love about the recordings, my friends, is I've literally, for those of you that are interested in creating an online course, I know some of you that are my clients are, because you're like, okay, well, I can't do organizing anymore, but I can sell an organizing course, right? Or I can't be cutting hair anymore, but I can do a course on beauty and hairstyles, right? We really need to get creative and think outside of the box for these times, right? So what you could do with Zoom is you could schedule a meeting with yourself. No, you're not crazy, you're smart, right? Because you're going to schedule a meeting with yourself to record the course. And you could do the course just as a video where you're talking. You could do it as a webinar and turn off your camera if you don't want to have your video. I like having the personal touch with having the video and the PowerPoint. But it could be either or. It could be just the video, just the PowerPoint, or both. And you could just record an entire course and you could put it up on YouTube and sell it. Easy. And all the videos you're creating by recording right here on Zoom. You set up a meeting with yourself. It's on my to-do list. I'm working on a new course, so that's why I'm thinking about it. But it's a wonderful use of Zoom to be able to create courses. Because before you were thinking, I need to have a camera crew. I need to have this. I need to have that. It's all right here with Zoom. The only thing I would suggest is that you have relatively good lighting, or at least a light bulb in front of your computer. I do. I'm cheating. If I turn this off, you'll see, so I have lighting. And then the backdrop, Zoom recently added virtual backdrops, and you can download free Zoom virtual backdrops on Canva, canva.com. So I just found that out. And how did I find that out? By exploring. What we do right now, if we have extra time, is we research and we explore. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I don't have to worry that my background is messy or that it's this, you know, if I want it to look corporate, I put an office, etc. So that is super cool. And this microphone is really optional. This was like a $35 Logitech microphone. I do recommend having one if you're going to sell a recording. If you're just using it to have a conversation with someone, you don't necessarily need a headset. But if you want to have quality content that you're going to be reselling later, definitely I would suggest having a microphone. So that is Zoom. There's so many more things that you can do on Zoom. You know, you can create the webinars, you can create, you know, the live streaming. And if you want to know how to do the live streaming, or if you want to know how to do anything, Zoom has amazing video tutorials. So you just go to the help area. There's a help area in Zoom, and you say, how do I live stream from my Zoom? How do I set up a poll in Zoom? Right? And if you don't like their directions, you could always go to YouTube. This is my suggestion for everybody that doesn't already know this. If there's anything you don't know how to do, you type it on YouTube and then you put it on your laptop, right? Don't try to do it on your computer while you're working. So you go to YouTube, you type it in, and then you're able to adjust. I know this is elementary for some of you, but for others of you, everything is discoverable and answerable on YouTube. How to, which leads me to maybe you should be doing some videos on YouTube, but we'll get to that slide. Okay, so that is Zoom. Okay, there's so much we can do on Zoom. It's really easy to schedule. You can get a free account and start doing short little 40-minute videos. One of the things that Nick was asking me is he was like, well, when would I do a video on Zoom? And when would I be heading over to Facebook and Instagram? And so it's really important anytime you do anything marketing that you have in the back of your mind your end strategy. What is my end game? What is my goal? What do I want to accomplish? If you wanted to record video content for your YouTube and you're doing that, then you definitely want to use Zoom. Because if you're recording something on Instagram, like say you're doing Instagram Live, it expires, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Instagram Live, but both Instagram here and Facebook have live stream options, and it's fantastic. If you don't already know, Mark Zuckerberg has been pushing to the top of the stream everything that's live. Because everybody's out and there is a captive audience, and people can only watch so much Netflix and are only on YouTube so much, and then they want to check in on people. So what they're doing right now is they're putting all of the live stream to the front because they want your eyeballs. How does Facebook and Instagram make money? Through advertising revenue. So if you're creating content for them by doing a live stream, they're going to push you to the top, right? So we would use Zoom if we were having a meeting, if we were doing a webinar, if we were creating content that we wanted to reuse. We would use Instagram, we would use Facebook if we wanted to communicate and get out to our existing following and potentially attract a new following. So this isn't like your deep dive content. This is more of your surface level content, right? So say you're a life coach for dogs, right, Mara Brown? Give you a shout out, one of our chamber members. You could get on Facebook with your dog, would be really cute, and you could talk about some of the biggest issues that dog owners are having right now, right? I'm sure dogs are very happy right now because they're getting a lot of attention. Because you're home 27, maybe they don't like you. Maybe it's an issue. So whatever pains or problems that your ideal target client are having now, maybe you're not going to be able to provide your product or service. Maybe you're a doula and you can't do it. Or maybe, whatever it is, you're a hairdresser, you can't do it. But you can educate people and make them aware of your product or service on Instagram and on Facebook, okay? So when would you want to be on Instagram and when would you want to be on Facebook? So we want to keep in mind our target market. When I say our, I don't mean mine and yours. I mean, you need to think, who is my target market? What is their habits? Where are they going, right? Are they more on Instagram or are they more on Facebook? Like I was working with someone today. She's a pilot that scatters ashes for a living. So she flies planes and scatters ashes. I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. Never met someone like that. So she's jet skiing in Arizona, having a great time on her quarantine. I'm like, good for you. She's socially isolating on jet skis. I'm not mad at her, right? But she says her target market is baby boomers. And where are baby boomers? Facebook, right? Because it's 35 to 55 plus, right? If your target market is millennials, you definitely want to consider being on Instagram and then getting on, of course, TikTok. I'm going to have to do a whole separate webinar on TikTok as soon as I learn it, right? I'm still learning TikTok, okay? So, but Instagram is great if you want the millennial crowd, but also you have to realize right now, everyone is on social, right? It's like our new television because television is so stressful with the news. There's literally only so many hours in the evening that people can watch and they're not out like they were before. So this is your time. I know there's so many negatives when we think about, what's happening right now, but we have to shift our focus and our energy on what we can do. There's so many things we can't do, but what can I do? Well, what you can do is get on Instagram Live. What you can do is get on Facebook Live. I am forcing myself. Right now, I have more clients than I ever did before, thank goodness, because I do small business consulting and coaching and work with people with NLP, those kind of things. So I'm nonstop, right? But every Friday at 11:11, I get on Facebook Live. Why? Because the people that hire me for speaking are 45 and up. Right? So I am going to Facebook. There's no saying that I can't go to Instagram and start doing Instagram lives there. But I know that for my higher return on investment of my time, I could go on there. But both of the problems are solved when you simulcast. You want to make sure that the pain or problem that your client has on Facebook is the same pain or problem that they have on Instagram. For me, the people that hire me on Instagram are more the colleges and universities, and their issues are different than the professionals, entrepreneurs that are on Facebook. So you just have to be mindful. Sometimes it's good to simulcast and do it at the same time. However, sometimes it's not. Like, for example, the Beverly Hills Chamber, if they were going to do, which I love, they were before this all happened, so many great live streams. I saw Alex, I saw Blair, I saw Nick, I saw Todd, I saw the dog. I forgot the dog's name, sorry. And everybody was on there, right? But now's the time, hey, we want to also increase membership with our millennials. Now's the time we can also simulcast on Instagram so we can capture that market. So that is a great opportunity that we have now. And like I said, through Zoom, you're going to be able to simulcast to Instagram, to Facebook Live. So let's talk about some success stories. There is a wonderful yoga studio. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. They are in Beverly Hills. We need to get them to be a chamber member. I don't think they are, but I'll convince them. But they are doing such a great job as a small business owner. They're right on San Vicente and Wilshire, 8383 Wilshire. So what they did as a business, which I thought had so much class, was they called us, not just once, but multiple times. I would actually recommend you guys do some sort of a texting thing, but maybe they wanted to have that personal touch. So they called me to inform me that they were putting my membership on hold, that they were putting everyone's membership on hold and not charging us during this time. And I know some of you businesses are like, oh, I can't afford to do that, or that would be horrible. But they decided to do that because they did not want people to cancel their memberships, right? So the first thing that they said when they called us wasn't like, oh, let me talk to you about your membership, was they said, how are you doing? Are you okay? Is your family okay? Like they left that on a message. But I mean, now I know this sounds old fashioned. We're talking about all these high tech things. Calling is like reestablish art, right? And anytime you could reconnect with clients and show that you care about them in this time, they're the one business, the one bill that I have that took the time to call. And I thought that was fantastic. They called twice. And then they let me know, they said, not only do you not have to pay, but we are going to put all of our classes, not all of our classes, but we're going to have 4 classes per day online. And I want to give you the success story because this is the do's and don'ts, what happened and where they went wrong and how they fixed it. So they had, and I know many of you that are fitness trainers or any sort of infopreneur consultant, you were always thinking about doing online stuff, but this COVID pushed us into uncomfortable territory, and a lot of people just had to learn to swim in the Zoom field, right? So they had online demand classes, but they really weren't promoting it because they wanted people to come in the studio because they have state-of-the-art heat. You can't get the hot yoga experience at home. It's not the same thing. You don't have the same benefits of boosting your immune system, etc. However, so what they did was they recorded all the videos. They put them, I guess they stored them on YouTube, and then they had a portal on their website. And nobody, I think, was using them except me because I was using them. But what happened was when because they would use music in the background, you have to be so careful on YouTube, on Facebook. Right now, Facebook and Instagram have been a lot more lenient with music. Before, if you put any music, they would say copyright infringement. They would take your video down, or they would mute your sound, which is horrible if you're doing a video. So what they did, they had issues with that. And so they had to revise their whole system of on demand. And what they did was they streamed them. This is a brilliant idea. Okay, listen to this. Write this down. They stream the classes on Instagram. Why? Because they have more of a following on Instagram. Why? Because Facebook is basically pay to play. So your Facebook business page, if you're not running ads, you probably have zero engagement. Yet your Instagram, you have the same 3,000, 5,000 followers. You have engagement because as of now, you're not being blocked, right? They're not blocking you. So they had a lot more engagement on Instagram. They recorded the yoga class on Instagram Live. So they gave you that feeling of community. So they said at 9 a.m., we're going to do hot yoga sculpt, come to Instagram Live. And then what they did, because a lot of the reason people prefer to do things on Zoom instead of Instagram is because with Instagram, after the live is done, after 24 hours, it deletes it. But what you can do is you can save it on your phone. That's what they did. And then they uploaded it to Vimeo, and then they put it on their website. So now we can access it anytime without any issues with music or anything like that. And so what's been happening is not only are they able to be like the #1 yoga studio in town, but now this local Beverly Hills business is no longer just local. It can be global because the yoga teachers have social media followings, and they're getting people from Australia, from all over the world. So now, in addition to having yoga studios and classes in person, they now have a new stream of income where they're able to have classes online that can have a global reach. And I know that's not going to work if you have a restaurant. I know it's not going to work for certain like hairdressers. But if it does work for your business, you want to consider it because it's taking local people global with this virtual experience, right? Okay, so that's what they did. D Nice, did you go to the party? It was a quarantine party. Everybody was there. Michelle Obama was there. Who else was there? Everybody. Halle Berry, LL Cool J. Every song he would play, like the person was there. So D Nice, he's famous DJ. I didn't know him, but he's famous DJ. He had, I think, up to 150,000 people at this. He was just like having a party where he's a DJ, he's playing music, everybody's listening and engaging in the comments, right? And he went from having, I think, 200,000 followers to 1 million followers in a weekend. Why? Keyword, what did he do? He asked himself, and this is what I want you to do as business owners. Ask yourself, the question isn't how can I sell right now? Because people are not in the consuming buying mode. People are in the saving their life mode, staying healthy mode, maintaining mode. They're not necessarily in the how can I buy this, buy that. They will buy. I'm not saying that they won't. But the question that we want to ask ourselves is, how can I serve my target market? How can I serve them? What is a pain or problem that they have that my business or that I, as an owner of my business, have a talent or a skill for, right? So he has a talent for music. Let me host a party. He never asked for any money. I've seen DJs now, and they do, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They'll say, oh, here's a tip jar. But what D Nice got was clout and a campaign, because after the success of his program, guess what, of the party he did, Michelle Obama, and I don't know if she paid him or if it was just like a strategy deal or whatever, she asked him to do a campaign for getting the vote. He's like, well, if you have 1 million people, we need to register people to vote. So Michelle Obama and D Nice did a voting registration party. See? So if you go the attitude, oh, you know, or I don't know, or I shouldn't sell, that's not the attitude. The attitude is, how can I serve? So hot yoga is serving by giving yoga classes. He served. I'm not saying give away everything for free. I'm saying give people tastes and teasers. It's like giving them an appetizer, right, of your delicious thing that you offer, so that they want more, so that they see you as a compassionate person. They see you as a leader in your community, because you're making a difference by not just thinking about yourself or your business, but the community, right? So asking that question is also going to shift you from fear and lack and scarcity, which I know all of us as humans are feeling right now, just natural as humans, to possibilities, right? We have to shift from fear to possibilities. Sorry if I'm talking like a motivational speaker, but maybe somebody needs this, right? Because when we're in our heads of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I need to meet payroll and I have to pay the rent. And just because, you know, this happened doesn't mean I still have bills. That's when you go for a walk outside, get some vitamin D. We all need our vitamin D. I got mine right here, from the sun, and just your walking is going to activate your creative juices, because now is the time to think outside of the box. We can't do business as usual. We have to be creative. What can we do? And when we think from a place of service, we're going to be in so much expansion. Okay, I'm sorry. I went on a soapbox about that. All right. So let's talk Facebook. Okay. So how are you? So this is right here on the left is the Brazil Cultural Center. You could look on Facebook and see their page if you want. So they teach samba. They're right down the street from me. They teach drumming. They teach capoeira, martial arts. How the heck are they going to stay in business during time of COVID-19? Well, guess what they did? They decided to offer their entire class list on Zoom. Their entire class list on Zoom. And I am a samba dancer, I'll admit it. I took a samba class. I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And literally the samba teacher, I had my iPad, she would teach us something and then she would pause. And you're going to learn this as you practice. She would pause and she's like, now you do it. And we had our videos on and she would look at us. She'd be like, great, you know, now do this. And she'd be coaching us, right? So it takes creativity. It takes, you know, some being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because I know it's unknown. But because they've been promoting this on Facebook, and they've been really good about Facebook, what they would do with their live classes is they would live stream their live classes. And they could still, if they wanted to, live stream the Zoom, right? Because you could have the Zoom on the computer, and then with your phone, set up a tripod. I've got like 5 tripods like this, and you could Facebook Live your Zoom class. Not the whole thing, right? Because you want people to pay for it. But you could give them just like a 15-minute little taste of what your drumming class is like, what your samba class is like. So they're doing a really great job with that. And they're also having people, which is so important. They're also having people on Facebook, this is user-generated content, post their videos of them doing the class. So, and checking into the studio. And I think they could get like a discount, $5 off for doing that, right? So at one point during the class, they ask everyone, okay, if you feel comfortable, take out your cell phone. We're going to have you videotape this part of the class. And I want you to post it on your Facebook and make sure you tag Brazil Cultural Center, use the hashtag Samba for Health or whatever their hashtag is, blah, blah, blah. You see that? So you're creating a community. It's shifted from in the dance studio to online, but it's amazing. I have another Samba example. This person is located in Australia, and I really wanted to take her class. And I was like, I just can't get up at 4:30 in the morning, or even if I could, I wouldn't want a Samba, right? So I told her, I said, instead of doing it at a certain time, why don't you make it on demand? Think about this with your business. I know some of you are thinking, how the heck can I do this with my business? Think about it. We're going to get to a restaurant in a minute. So she is now making them on demand. So when you buy a class and it's $12.99 in Australian money, I don't even know what I paid for it. And then I have that class for a week, right? And I've seen other teachers or coaching consultants where now, guess what? You have all this footage that you've created because you're saving your Facebook Lives. Facebook Live, unlike Instagram Live, does not delete, it lives on. They are recording it on Zoom. So, guess what they could do with their Zoom video? Because once you record it on Zoom, you download it to your computer, you can upload a little bit to your YouTube. You can upload a little bit to your LinkedIn. You can upload it to a blog page. All of a sudden, you have a vlog. So you are giving yourself content. Some of you have been to my workshops before, and you know I'm always talking about creating content. Guess what? Some of us have time now. We just need to know, where do I focus my energy? And I hope that this is giving you ideas. And at the end of this webinar, you can write down like 3 things. Don't overwhelm yourself. I know you guys are overachievers and you're awesome and amazing, but like 3 things that you could do. Okay. So next, this is my favorite restaurant. It's Mercedes. I'm giving them a shout out because I want them to stay in business when this is over. And I know we have a lot of great restaurants in Beverly Hills. That's one of the things we love about our chamber, all of the chamber breakfasts at these great restaurants. So Mercedes Grill, it's at the end of Washington, right at the beach here in Venice, where I used to live, right on the beach. And what they are doing, they're only open on the weekends, right? And it's only open for takeout. But what they're doing is they're Facebook living like it's an event, right? They're not trying to get people to gather. They're, keeping a 6 foot, they have tape, social distancing, but they're making it festive. Mayor Villaraigosa is now allowing us to have alcohol to go. So they're emphasizing that, cocktails to go. And on another flyer, they were saying strong cocktails to go, right? So whatever you can do, those of you that are in the food business, restaurant business, to get people, because people are stir crazy, some people like me, in their homes. We want to get out, we want to have an excuse to get some food, right? And if you make it, just like anything, an experience, right? So they're like, they see it on Facebook Live, they're like, oh my God, I get to smile and see my favorite bartender say hi to Mercedes is going to be there personally delivering the food. You want to give, and the best way on Facebook without doing ads is Facebook Live. It's really the only way without doing ads that you're going to get seen, that you're going to get visible, that you're going to be noticed, right? So you want to make a splash by having that engagement. And even say you own a restaurant and there's no line or anything and it's more mellow. Like I saw this wine and cheese place that's open by my house, and they're just sitting there. They could do a Facebook Live with the menu and just say, you know what? Hi, we're the owner of this wine and cheese restaurant. Just wanted to let you know we're on a reduced menu. This is the menu for today. And you could even do like a demonstration of which wine goes with which cheese. You could have like a wine tasting, Wednesday wine tasting night, right? And then you'll say, well, come down and get your bottle. So then you and your friends, when you do your happy hour, you have our wine. Does that make sense? So there's so many fun things, but like I said before, it's all about being creative, right? We have to be creative with this. Okay, you guys with me? Thumbs up, thumbs up. So it's about being creative, and the best way I have found for being creative is to go for a walk, get outside. Maybe some of you it's when you're in the shower, but it's not when you're sitting at the computer looking at your bills. That's not the time you're being creative, because literally when you're in that zone, you're going to be in contraction. You're going to be in fear. Even if it's not your fear, you're going to pick up on fear of other people. It's not the time to be creative. So go for a walk and ask yourself, how can I serve my ideal target market? How can I let them know I'm still here? I'm still in business. I still can serve them, and really come up with a brainstorm list of different things that you can offer them. And I love how the chamber is doing this. So the chamber didn't say, oh, we're just not going to offer any business, any workshops. No, they said, oh, let's just do webinar, webinar, webinar. Okay, so I wanted to let you know that there is a live streaming service. I saw Oprah. Oprah is my mentor. You guys know Oprah Winfrey. So Oprah, she has this partnership now with Apple, and they're doing all these interviews. And she interviewed Alicia Keys, and she's so smart. So Oprah, what she does is she goes on Facebook Live and she says, oh, I'm going to be talking to Alicia Keys and it's her new book. And she was going to go on tour and she's going to play some music. She says, but if you want more information, go over to Apple TV. And then Apple TV, it's like a 30, I don't know if it's a 30-day or 6-month trial so you can watch the shows. But Oprah teases you to go over there, right? But what I loved about Oprah was it looks so professional. Obviously, she's got a budget. But guess what? We could look professional on a low budget. So there are live streaming services that you can use so that when you're doing interviews, like say Anna, our Greek goddess of Meraki Fitness, for all your corporate health and fitness speaking needs, right? Maybe her and Blair are talking about her. I saw her doing classes, that she's doing fitness classes, on Zoom. So maybe they're talking about what's coming up this week and why everyone for your immune system needs to be doing some sort of movement, right? So then you could do like a BeLive.tv, and what it does is it allows you to brand your colors, your logo, and it really makes it look nice on the Facebook Live, right? So it's a really nice way of presenting yourself. BeLive.tv is one of the options. The other one is StreamYard.com. This one was highly recommended. I haven't used it yet, but that's another way of doing live streaming. Or if you already have Zoom and you need to have the Zoom Pro version, which is a whopping $19.99. It's not that much money a month. So Zoom is free. If you just do the 40 minutes, if you need more time, you go up to $14.99, or you can go up to $19.99. And then you get the ability to stream. So you want to stream your Zoom to Facebook, you want to stream it to YouTube, you can do it. I don't know, because I haven't tried it yet, if you could simultaneously stream to both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. However, StreamYard, you can, okay? StreamYard, you can. Zoom will enable you to stream your Zoom over there. But one thing you always want to make sure, like if you're doing anything that you're gifting your services, that you're capturing emails, right? So Zoom has a feature where when people register that they have to put in their email to get the link. Why do you want that? Because you want to be able to stay connected with your clients, with your customers, with your target market through your newsletter. Now is not the time to throw away the newsletter. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Okay. So this is, I did my research to how to initiate a live stream via Zoom, and there is a whole tutorial on it. If you go to Zoom's help, they will teach you. And it's literally, those of you that feel like you're technologically challenged, you're really not. The truth is, you just haven't practiced it. Like I could say, my French is challenged. It's not challenged, I just haven't practiced it, right? I'm sure if I lived in France for a few months, I would get it. So we just need to spend time. This is the perfect time in our life, this next 8 weeks, to bond with technology, to love technology. Instead of see it as a curse, that it's hurting us, that it's hindering us, to see it as a tool to connect us with our clients, right? So these are the directions, and then you can just follow them step by step. If any of you needs help with this personally, one-on-one, I can help you. Okay, so now I wanted to talk about newsletters, okay? I learned this from Betty. I saw Betty's on here. Betty is an amazing founder, Betty Gabai of Let's Get Disruptive. I met her at the chamber. She taught a bomb.com session on how to work with influencers. She spoke at the Nazarian Institute, and I had a coaching session with her from my meeting at the chamber. Thank you, chamber, for introducing me to Betty. And Betty said to me, because I'm like social media goddess, but Betty said, listen, Deborah, don't forget about newsletters. Newsletters are important, and they're more important than ever in the time of COVID. Even I had such a busy day, and I was like, wow, once a week I said I was going to do a newsletter. And I have topics each week. I'm going to show you how to do that, right? how to create topics for each week. And so right before we got on the webinar, I did a newsletter, and it does not need to be long because it's all about consistency, right? You just want to connect with people. This is Marie Forleo. I don't know if you know her. I went to business school with her, B school. She was on the Oprah show as millennials to watch. She has a multi-million-dollar company, and it's all passive income, and it's all online. She's suffering right now? No. So it's just like a lesson for all of us that we need to have some part of our business that's passive, and we need to have some part of our business that's online. This situation is forcing us to realize that. So she teaches a business school, but she's not even live. It's all pre-recorded videos, and she sells it twice a year. 2,000 people purchase it for $2,000 each, and then the rest of the time she does corporate speaking and consulting. It's a good business model, right? So one of the things that she's doing right now, and I would do it, all of you, no matter what business you're in. You're a restaurant, you're a hairdresser, you're an organizer, you're a fitness trainer. We need to respond to what's going on. And there's so many resources on, like, SBA, you've been attending some of the webinars on loans. You don't want to give people financial information, but you can give them information that would help them. So think about, what are the pains and problems that your people have? Like, say you are like a fitness person, you may tell people, so one of the things you want to make sure if you decide to go for a walk is, number one, you wear a mask. Number two, you have gloves. Number three, you hydrate, whatever it is, but have some sort of a coronavirus guide for them in your newsletter. So you're showing that you care about them. You're showing that you have resources for them, and see how short and sweet this is. And then it was just a video, right? So the other thing that you can do, sorry, my computer's going crazy. Is so I never really before this had time to blog. I was too busy with my podcast, my YouTube, and blah 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 blah, live streaming, etc. But say you just wrote the newsletter, right? Your blog is literally 3 additional paragraphs of your newsletter, right? Or your newsletter could be 2 paragraphs leading them to your blog. I'm not asking you to do more. I'm asking you to strategically repurpose what you're already doing to be and this is our purpose for all these communications. We want to stay at the top of our mind with our client and customers. Even though we may not be able to be high touch right now, we could be connected through our newsletter, through our blog, through our live streams, through our Zoom mixers or meetings, etc. Does that make sense? So you can literally, for search engine optimization purposes, you really only need 350 words to be captured by the search engines, right? So you don't need a long blog, but I just reinstated my blog because I know that's going to get traffic to my website. And what we want now more than ever is people to be thinking about our business and feeling grateful for our business because it's being of service to them, that when this is all over, or for those of you that can sell right now, they're going to think of us. We're at the top of their mind. Our brand is synonymous with service and helping and being a beneficial presence during this time. So this is a short, you can look at her website. It's marieforleo.com to see her blog. But the key thing is that it's relevant. So I have a podcast, and I have to really make sure that it's relevant to what people are needing right now. Keyword relevant, because we don't want to talk about things that are not relevant to them. Here's another example. So besides blog, besides newsletters, we can form strategic alliances. I have a client, I think he's on the call, I recommended it to him. He has an app called Fit for Bucks. So what are we doing now more than ever? We're walking. There's like traffic, pedestrian traffic in my neighborhood. Everybody just wants to get out and have a walk. Well, guess what his company does? It rewards you for walking, and it connects you with local businesses. So if you walk a certain amount of steps, you could get a free cappuccino at say place, Beverly Hills, you could get a free cappuccino. And what he's doing, and he told me I could mention this to you, any business right now, you can be featured in the app and have your own website, little e-commerce site, free. 6 months free. He's doing this for everybody. And I was like, oh my God, it's so awesome. And then his regular prices are like $39. But I told him, you should form a strategic alliance with Oscar. Oscar is my new health insurance, right? They give you $1 for every 10,000 steps. So think about you, my friends. What are other businesses, maybe even in the chamber, that you can form strategic alliances? So maybe you're kind of shy to do an Instagram live, but you want to go on, like Betty and I are going to do something together, right? Or you're kind of camera shy a little bit with the Facebook live. You get another business where you have the same target market. Maybe you are an eyebrow person. Trust me, I'm going to need it when I'm done. Where's Anastasia? Don't look at my eyebrows. So you're an eyebrow person, and another person's a stylist, and maybe you as an eyebrow person is going to show people how to maintain their eyebrows during this time where they can't go to the salon. No one's going to want to do it forever. Trust me, they'll be back to you. But you could do a Facebook Live and do Q&A on eyebrow maintenance. And then the stylist can talk about, what do? You have gray hair. You're not able to color your hair. What can you do right now? So see how you're on Facebook Live, being of service, doing that strategic alliance. So you're going to be able to do that. So I'm going to give you for Fit for Bucks, I'm going to give you an email for him. If anybody's interested, this is something that you guys can, especially brick and mortar businesses, but it's also good for consultants, right? So you're a life coach for dogs. Oh, you're a manifestation coach. You're a corporate health trainer. You're a concierge, whatever it is that you're doing, you could be listed in here. And so this is in the Apple Store. This is in Google Play. People that are out walking can see your business and connect with you. So that's an awesome thing that you guys can do. Another thing that's really a great way to communicate, and remember, the whole reason that we're communicating right now is to stay at the top of the mind so that our customers know we care about them, that they are loyal to us, and that we're being of service, right? So this is another option. So I use a company called Text Alerts. It's like $30 a month, and I get 5 keywords. So I was just realizing I will admit it, I'm underutilizing this service. I have probably about 10 webinars coming up in the month of April. Can you keep track of them? Can I keep track of them? No. But if I have a campaign, and I will, where you send a text, social media, all lowercase, 55469, right? Then I send you a text. You guys are living with your phones. This is my other client's product. Look, he has this thing. Isn't that cool? So we have our phones in our hands, right? Constantly looking at it, even sleeping with it. Oh my God, am I getting another alert, right? You're able, because they're going to opt into it. And this is something when you're on your Instagram Live, when you're on your Facebook Live, this could be your call to action. Because at the end of every live stream, there should be a call to action to go and register for your newsletter or to opt into your text thing. Then you could let people know next time you go live. And then what is this going to do? This is going to really boost your social media presence during this time. Some of you have been so busy networking and so busy being out and about, and that's good. I'm not mad at you. That's fantastic. But now is your time to build your online following. So your sales can still continue to grow now, or if they can't, for whatever reason, that you're not able to sell your products or services, when we get back on, you're going to be able to have a loyal community, not customers, but a community. That's the point of all of this effective communication webinar, not to create, one-by-one engagements or one-by-one advertising, but to create relationships, to create loyal following. So text marketing is one of the ways you could do that. Okay. So, and now it's 5 o'clock. I know. I'm going to wrap it up. So then we're going to have questions. Be thinking about your questions. I'm going to be taking them in the chat, and Nick or Blair is going to help me with all the questions that we have coming, because I'm going to spend the last 10 minutes answering your questions, just wrapping up now. But now is the time for video content. If you've been shy about being on camera, or you haven't had, a spokesperson to be on camera, let's Move that ego, not your amigo, out of the way, and it's time to get on. Whether it's live streaming or doing Zoom videos with your people, people are desperate for human contact and seeing faces and eyebrows. I put on heels for you. That's the first time I put on earrings, okay? I'm with you. Even though I don't see you, I feel you. I'm connected with you. I have a reason to get out of bed and get dressed because I'm serving you, right? Everybody's craving that, right? So do not deprive your people, your loyal customers, your loyal future customers of being able to have that human contact. Get online. If you're shy about getting online, I'm going to do a live streaming for Facebook and Instagram. I'll let the chamber know. Next week, I'm doing a podcasting on Thursday at 2 o'clock through the South Bay SBDC. I'll let you know. And it's also really important, all these Zoom videos, say you're doing webinars like me all the time. You want to get these up on YouTube so you can be found in Google search. The other thing you could repurpose your Zoom videos is you can put them on IGTV. IGTV, I'm going to do a whole webinar on that, is just like YouTube, but it lives, it's a TV on Instagram. Cool, right? Super cool. So if you can, you may want to consider yourself doing webinars on your expertise. Or maybe you don't want to give a webinar. Maybe you just want to be a leader and have like a virtual, if you're a coach, have a virtual opportunity for people to ask you questions, and you could use Zoom for that. So definitely make sure your videos have the keywords that people are searching for. So you can always look on YouTube to see what people are searching by typing in the search window and seeing what people are looking for, like how to remain hopeful during tough times, you know, how to keep your immune system high, how to reduce stress, how to stay organized, how to stay focused in uncertain times. There's so many different topics you can do. Depending on what your business is. And by the way, I have a client, she sells cheesecake. She's not allowed to sell cheesecake anywhere. So guess what she's doing? She is going to be doing a cooking show on Facebook Live where she's showing herself in the kitchen and she's just connecting you with her brand, right? So then you, as a restaurant owner, you're like, oh, we should definitely bring her cheesecakes in. They're vegan, they're small, so they're guilt-free. They're like this big, they're delicious, etc. Okay. So the one more thing, and then I'm going to cut myself off because I want to get to your questions. Now more than ever is time for testimonials, right? Everything's about social proof. People, our reviews are, and we all know how Yelp is. And not a lot of us have a lot of Google reviews. Here is a way that you can get, and Marie Forleo has this on her website. She uses this for people to ask questions. You could use this for also people to give you suggestions for what they want more of for you. Where people go wrong on social media is it's a conversation. And most people, most brands, they talk at their customers like on a bullhorn, but we shouldn't be talking at them. We should be exchanging with them and asking them questions. So what do you want more of? So that's what she did with her. She used this thing called SpeakPipe. They have a $0 version. That's the one I signed up for, $0 version. It just depends what features you get. I think the higher version is like $12 a month or something. So you could use it to get testimonials. You could use it to ask people, what blog post should I do next? What webinar should I do next? Or if you're not in an infopreneur business and you're a restaurant, you could say, you know, what should we put on the menu? We need mojitos, right? What wine should we have? We need more Malbec, whatever. Anytime that, especially if millennials are your market, that you can give them an opportunity to feel like they are engaged and that they have a say in the buying options, they're going to really feel appreciated. They're going to love you as a brand. So I'm going to put up a resource page. I'm just going to leave this up while I'm answering questions from the chat. I mentioned the Profit for Bucks. You can contact him. He's giving all of you free, everybody he's giving free, not just all of you, but everybody, free. So if you know anybody, for free for businesses for 6 months, that you can advertise in his walking app. He'll make you a little thing. The text alert that I use is through Micah. I met him at SBDC. You can get him. This get people, say you are teaching a fitness class, allow the camera to shift. You guys can get one of those. StreamYard to Instagram and Facebook. Be Live is with Facebook. I personally had some glitches with it, but I'm not sure if it was my computer. You could also use your Zoom Pro account, which I would do, because if you have a Zoom Pro account, $14.99. And then this was the Speak Pipe for testimonial audios. Okay, so now is the time for your questions in the chat. So I think I'm going to unmute Nick. So if you want to ask the questions, thank you. So now oh, you guys are chatting without me. Okay, does Zoom have a built-in way to charge for webinars? Oh, I love that question. Who asked that question? Roby? So Zoom, as of this moment, does not have a built-in way to charge for webinars, but you can definitely charge for Zoom webinars. What I do is I use ConvertKit, which is where I do my email newsletters. And when people sign up for my webinar, and not for this one, but when I do it on my own, they get an email autoresponder from me. And in that email autoresponder, it has the link to check out where they have to pay. So you definitely can do that. That's a great idea. Thanks, Dion Jackson. Thank you, Nick. Great info, Betty. Okay. Thanks for the amusing. Was it amusing? He said, thanks for the amusing webinar. Oh, am I amusing? I amused myself. I've been home alone for a long time. Okay. Thanks, Anna. Okay, let's see if there's a next question. Always informative. Thanks, Cheryl. It's great to have you. Any questions? I know it's a lot of information. So in summary, if you guys don't have questions, I encourage you to write questions in the chat if you do have them. Is to decide right now, what is your plan of action, right? So remember, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. So we could say, like what I told myself, I want you to do Facebook Live every Friday at 11:11. You're welcome to join me. I'm Deborah Deras. I do a meditation, motivation, activation. It's like a motivational talk. But I also know that I'm leaving money on the table by not using Instagram. So I'm going to partner with my Beverly Hills Chamber member, Betty, a friend, and we're going to do it together. And I'm going to get more comfortable with Instagram Live, right? Because I know it's a great resource. I also committed to myself to do Zoom. I have a Zoom mastermind that I connect with other business owners. You could think about doing this with other Beverly Hills Chamber members, and we brainstorm for each other, because some of you may be stressed or in a little bit of a stuck place and you can't think of great ideas for your business, but you have great ideas for other people's businesses. That's how you can use Zoom. Collaborate, form strategic alliances with people in the chamber that you can do that with. Okay. You teach cooking and art classes. Oh, wait. To children, I need to expand my business. 3 languages, lost with all live stream webinar podcasts. So for the cooking classes, you definitely only need to use Zoom. Okay. Instagram Live, you want to think of Instagram Live and Facebook Live as teasers to let your people know what you're up to, but you want to do your classes for somebody that's a cooking and art teacher in Zoom, because then you're going to keep the video and you could create later on an online membership course, Sandrine, right? And if you need more help, I didn't mention this before, but I can help you one-on-one through Zoom. The South Bay Small Business Development Center, let me get to that slide, has a partnership. This is upcoming webinars I'm doing. Has an upcoming partnership. We have a partnership with the Beverly Hills Chamber. So anyone that wants a one-on-one session with me, you just email Martha Cisneros, get signed up with the SBDC, and I could do a Zoom chat. And I could work with you one-on-one, Sandrine. I'll help you with the whole plan for what you need to do. So don't feel like you're on your own. I'm not just giving you this information and say, fly, do it yourself. I'm here to support you. So if you guys need some one-on-one help, there you go, southbaysbdc.org. And I say email because all of our staff is working from home, so they're not in the office. Love you, Betty. Your calendar is full with Martha. My calendar is full, but you know what? I care so much about you that I am opening up Saturday sessions. So I'm going to go back to Martha and open up more sessions so that you have me to help you, because that is what it's about. If you've gotten nothing else from this, it's about being of service. Not how can I sell, but how can I serve? And guess what? When you serve, you will sell. Drop the mic. Okay, that's it. Our time is up. Okay, no. Okay, more. So true, right? Love that, right? Michelle, can I get some wine now? Just kidding. Wait, when's Michelle's next chat? I gotta go to. I think you have so many great things on your. I'm gonna stop sharing so I can unmute. Michelle. Michelle, are you doing any webinars right now? I'm trying to unmute you. Michelle, are you on? Oh, Cheryl, hi there. Oh, I think I unmuted.
Okay, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I just wanted to know if you want to do any announcements before I ended.
I would love to, and if Nick is still on and Blair to say their part too.
Yeah.
I just did the link for the members of the chamber. We have our Cheers with the Chamber happy hour. It's a virtual happy hour tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. and that is for our members. I just put the link on there, so register with us and just pour your favorite beverage. And you know, with all the crazy stuff that's going on with all the businesses and the coronavirus, we wanted to give one social happy hour of just getting together personally with each other and just catching up on that end. And then tomorrow morning, actually, we have our Get to Know Your Chamber. It's our virtual Get to Know Your Chamber orientation, where you're going to be able to meet the entire staff of the chamber and hear everything that the chamber does to help our members. And I'll put a link in here for that as well. But that's at 9 a.m. tomorrow. That's open for everyone to come and join us, complimentary, and just, you know, hear what all the chamber has going on and how we are helping the business community through this crisis. So thank you for that. And Nick and Blair, I don't know if you have anything you want to shout out.
Nothing big on my end, just to thank Deborah for doing a great job, and we plan on doing more of these and encourage you all to stay involved.
And by the way, we recorded this thanks to Nick, because Nick is so smart. He knows me very well. And then I didn't turn on the record button. So we recorded the whole thing, and I'm going to give the chamber the link so that everybody that registered will get a copy of this. So you could pause me, fast forward me, rewind me. Thanks, Nick.
And then just a few plugs as well. Again, thank you, Deborah. You always do an amazing job. So if this is your first time with Deborah, you're welcome from the chamber. But we do have a resources page for businesses on our website that we started, www.beverlyhillschamber.com, which does have a lot of great resources. Every day there's new information and new resources coming out. So just keep an eye on that, because we're here to serve you right now. And then also on our events page, not only are we doing our own programming, but all the chambers and local organizations are trying to share each other's programming that might be relevant to your business. So keep an eye on that. And the chamber is going to be doing regular programming throughout this. So we're definitely here for you. And please feel free to reach out to us if you need anything.
Fantastic. So I want to thank all of you. I know you have many choices in webinars. Thank you for Zooming with the Beverly Hills Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for letting me be of service. Like I said, I'm Deborah Deras, social media goddess. I'm in-house to be able to support you. If you email Martha and my calendar is full, I'm going to be updating and adding more. I actually have a meeting about adding more hours so I can be more of service to you. So looking forward to more webinars in the future. Have a great day, you guys. Take care. Remember, only 3 things. Don't get overwhelmed. Take a breath. 3 things that you're going to do. All right. Ciao.